Did you know that by February, 80% of people have already given up on their New Year's resolutions? And I don't want that to be me. In fact, I didn't even really set New Year's resolutions this year because I've made a bigger decision that I am transforming my life this year. I'm leveling up, and I decided that I was gonna take you along with me and share with you the journey as I transform my life and level up in 2023. I am setting big goals and working to achieve them. And I kind of have a process for how I'm going about doing it that might be a little bit different. So if you're interested in seeing what I'm doing to level up in 2023 and how I'm gonna change my life this year, and maybe you want to transform your life as well, I'm going to be sharing the specific things that I'm doing right now to get started on that process and make sure that I'm not one of those people that drops off and doesn't complete what I started at the beginning of the year. So if you want to hear all about that, then stay tuned. Hey guys, it's Kristi. Welcome back. I am so excited about today's video. A little bit scared because I'm going to be opening up a lot too, but mostly excited. I have so much I want to share with you, so many things I have been doing in January to prepare myself for this transformation that I'm making throughout the year. And today I'm going to share with you kind of what I'm doing to set myself up for success. I have a 4-week plan that I have been going through that I'm going to share with you what I'm doing, and I figured it would be fun to start now. So this is the last week of January. So I figured if we start now, then you could go through it with me for week 1, and then I'm gonna come with another video every week throughout February. There's a 4-week process of what I'm doing. So I'm gonna share with you the 4 weeks and kind of what I'm doing each week. And this is week 1, so we're gonna go through for week 1. So go get your supplies and just do it right along with me in this video. I've already done mine, but I'm gonna share with you what I've done for my week 1. So grab some tea, coffee, whatever you like. I've got some tea and some water in my new Ember mug. I got this at Christmas. It is so awesome. It keeps your tea or your coffee warm. I am absolutely loving it. It has a coaster that charges, and then you have an app on your phone. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. So I have my Ember app, and it's set to 135 degrees. So it will hold my tea at 135 degrees for a while. So it doesn't last as long as I might like it, like all day, but if you keep it on the charger and the charger's plugged in, then it will keep it at 135 all day. So I'm loving my mug. It's like my new favorite thing that I can't live without. I have some other things I'm gonna share with you. So just grab yourself a drink, and the other thing you're gonna need is some type of notebook. This is just a basic, notebook, nothing special about it. So grab a notebook, or even just some typing paper if that's all you have, and then markers. So I have markers, pen. I keep my markers or my highlighters in this bag, so you can see all my highlighters. So if you have highlighters, go ahead and grab a bag. I will link to some of these things, to these specific highlighters, and a few of the things I'm gonna show you down in the description box. So if you're interested in any of these things, but I think like my notebook, I just got this at Walgreens, and I love this notebook. It has lines. You may prefer one that doesn't have lines, that's all up to you. But get your paper, get your tea, and I hope you'll join me and actually do this along with me if you are wanting to transform your life in 2023, just like I am. Before I talk about week 1, let's do an overview of what I'm doing for the 4 weeks. And so we're on week 1 today. So week 1, we are gonna be talking about setting a vision for the year. And we're gonna be answering the question, who do I want to be? There is a creative formula, and the creative formula is be, do, have. And a lot of people know about this formula, even if it's just instinctually, but they go about it the wrong way. And when I see people do vision boards, a lot of times I think they're approaching it the opposite way than they should. They think about what they want to have, and then they start doing the actions. So of whatever they want to have, they do the actions that they think are going to get them those things. And then they think once they have those things, then they'll become the person that they want to be. And research shows that that is not how the creative process works. The way the creative formula actually works is you have to be first. You know, you have this idea of what you want to have, but before you can have these things, you have to become the person who would have these things. So I've shared with you how I want to get clutter-free in 2023 and how I've struggled along this journey for the last few years. And part of the reason that I have struggled with that is because I haven't become the clutter-free person. I've been doing things to try to get me to that place, but I haven't embodied the qualities and characteristics that that person would have. So the way the creative formula works is you first have to be the person that you want to be in the future. You have to start becoming that person now. So start doing the things that that person would do, that your future self would do once you have all of these things, but start being those characteristics now. Start doing those things now, and then you eventually will have what you want to have. So there's a lot of science behind this. I am not going to get into all the science, but I love studying that kind of thing. But I am going to share some resources with you if you want to dig more into that. But one of the resources that I want to share is this book, Be Your Future Self Now by Dr. Benjamin Hardy. I am in the process of reading this now. I'm about halfway through it, and it is a fantastic book. And I want to share with you a couple of quotes from Dr. Benjamin Hardy. And the first one is, the aim is not to be more productive, it's to get better results. I was watching a video that he does. He has a YouTube channel, and it was at the beginning of the year, right after the new year. It's a video titled 5 Habits to Create Massive Results in 2023. And I was watching the video, and he said that, and it just stuck with me. The aim is not to be more productive, it's to get better results. And I was thinking about, you know, in the past years, kind of what I've done sometimes is like just tried to be more productive. And I wasn't focused on results first. I was more focused on the habits I was trying to create rather than the results that I was trying to get. And it was like instantly, it just changed my mindset that I need to really be focused on the results. So that's the vision. That's the ultimate goal of like the vision board that we're gonna end up creating in week 4. That's the vision. Those are the results. What are the results? As I'm decluttering, what are the results that I want to have? So I'm starting to think in that way. And then I started reading this book the other day, Be Your Future Self Now. And in this book, at the very beginning, there was a quote, "The present is meaningless and less connected to the future. It is the future that dictates the decisions you opt for." And again, that struck me, and it just like clicked. You know, in order to have meaning in what we're doing now, it needs to be connected to whatever that future goal is that we have. And he talks all about this. This book is so easy to read. It's broken up into sections, and I just highly recommend it. So I'm just gonna tell you real quick the sections of this book. So the first part is threats to your future self. Then the part 2 is truths about your future self. And then part 3 is steps for being your future self. And then the conclusion. This is such a good book, and like I said, the sections are short, easy to read. He's even got diagrams with quotes and things throughout to kind of illustrate the main concepts that he's talking about in the book. So like I said, it's super easy to read and follow, and I have been getting a lot out of this book. That's week 1. So today we're going to talk about and answer the question, who do I want to be? We're going to set the vision for who we want to be so we can get clear on our priorities. We're not going to talk about what we want to have today. We're going to really more focus on who it is we want to be by the end of the year. Stick with me and you'll understand what I'm talking about, because that's where we're going to jump into our notebook in a minute. So week 2 is where we're going to end up doing an in-depth review to see where we are now. So I'm going to take you through step by step what that review needs to look like to get a real clear picture of where we are now in our lives, because we can say where we want to go, but it's hard to hit that target of exactly where we want to go if we're not focusing and figuring out where we are now. So how are we going to get from our current self to our future self? That's week 2. In week 3, we're going to do what I'm calling future planning, where we're going to plan out past a year. So we're going to talk about a year, 5 years, 10 years, and really start looking beyond the ultimate trajectory of where we want to be. In week 4, that is where we're going to actually put together our vision board. And so for week 4, we will together make our vision boards and have that really clear vision of what it is, of who we want to be and what we want to have by the end of the year. And then I figured that last week of February would be perfect, because then we could do a month in review and kind of see how we're doing with our goal setting for February and how much we've actually accomplished. So before we jump in to week 1's planning, I want to share a couple more resources with you that you might find helpful. So one is another book. It's called The 12-Week Year. I read this last year, and it comes with the book, and you can also get the workbook. So I love both of these. I think it's been very helpful for me to have the book and the workbook. Now, if you want to, you can just get the workbook and it stands alone, and it'll take you through how to actually plan out a 12-week year. But the whole concept, let me tell you this. This says, get more done in 12 weeks than others do in 12 months. So they ask the question, have you ever wondered how some people get more done in 12 weeks than most people do in a year? And it kind of goes on this whole principle of our work tends to take up the amount of space that we give it. So if you give yourself all year to accomplish your goals, then you're going to take all year to accomplish your goals. But if you shrink your year down to 12 weeks and you have goals and things that you want to accomplish in that 12-week year, and they're very specific that this is not a quarter, this is 12-week years. Because when you think of it as quarters, you're simply taking your year and shrinking that into sections, and that's not what this is. This is literally saying, let's accomplish a whole year's worth of goals in 12 weeks. And like I said, they walk you through step by step how to plan it out and how to do that. But I love the concept of the 12-week year. I'm putting that into place in my life, and I'm finding it to be very, very helpful. Actually making progress rather than just being productive. All right, so my next resource that I want to share with you goes right along with everything else we've been talking about here. I love this planner. So this is from Angie Bellmare, and she is on YouTube. If you look on the back of it, it says, first think, second believe, third dream, and finally dare. So that really goes along right with what we're talking about. I love this planner because this is not about, like other planners where it's more about, saying what you're gonna have for dinner and stuff like that. This is not about meal planning and structuring out your day for different things. This is very specific for goals. And so the way she sets it up is you have 10 slots for goals. A lot of these goals I view more as like habit building. I'll share with you what my 10 goals are for the month. So she does it by the month. So my 10 goals this month are wake by 6 a.m., write my goals. So literally on here, my second thing that I'm writing in the little box is goals, because every day I want to write my goals. Something called the daily practice. So that's something I'm doing that's mobility related, exercise like yoga. I use strength side videos. So that's what I have there. So every morning or sometime during the day, I do my either yoga or my strength side exercises. The next one is affirmations. I've been listening to some affirmations every day that are really speaking to me. I found some that I find very helpful for me. Then at night, I'm doing something called 3 wins, where I write down 3 wins for the day, and we can talk more about that concept later too. And then here's where I'm really getting into my goals. And so one is garage. So every day I'm going in and doing some type of work to declutter and straighten up and organize my garage. The next one is patio. So every day I'm doing something on the patio. Today, all I have is wipe it down. So it's really dusty here, so I'm going out every day and wiping down the patio. I have projects on the patio that I'm trying to complete. So every day I'm doing something to get my patio project done. My next one is for donations, because with my decluttering, I've said I'm gonna donate 52 times this year. And so for the month, I have 4 donations. So today's to do is to put 3 items in the box. My next one is related to YouTube and my videos that I wanna make. So then it's film my video that I'm filming right now was on my to-do for today. And then the next one is also, this is kind of personal and just something I'm working on, so I'm not gonna share it, but it has to do with my YouTube channel. And so that's my goals, because one of my priorities this year is to grow my YouTube channel. So those are the goals that I set. And then the other sections here are to feel amazing, I will, top 3 moves today, don't forget, some bullet points, and then what you're grateful or excited for. So I really like this section because it keeps you focused on whatever you're being grateful for or something you might be excited for, like filming this video today. And then game plan, where she has all the different times and you can write it out. I'm doing a couple different things in here other than what she has, but again, that's more for talk on another day. If you would like me to go through this with you in detail one day and fill out my planner and then show you the rest of the planner and how she has it by the month and like monthly goals and stuff like that, how she breaks down the whole thing, I'd be happy to do that. Let me know in the comments, but that's not primarily what this video is about. I just wanted to share those resources with you. But now let's jump in. This is where you're gonna need your notebook, an ink pen, some highlighters, whatever you want. And don't forget your drink. Get comfy, sit somewhere where you can be really comfy, spread out. The whole goal for this, for me, was I wanted to break it into weeks the way I'm doing, because I wanted to take time to really give myself time to think and create that vision for the year. And what is it that I really want? Who is it that I really want to be? So today's question is, who do I want to be? And our goal is we're gonna set our vision and we're gonna get really clear on our priorities for the year. By going through these steps today, it will help you get crystal clear on what your priorities for the year need to be. And I'll be sharing with you my priorities for the year. And I did this activity first, and then when I did this activity, it just became crystal clear to me what those priorities were. Get comfy, get your notebook, and let's jump into this. So I got this from Clark Kegsley on YouTube, and he calls your future self your 2.0 version of you. So in my notebook, I wrote 2.0 me for 2023. And these are the categories. I have 7 categories that I broke things into. And for now, this is not about, like I said, what we want to have. So for example, a lot of people on their vision boards, they want to have the house, or they want to have, a new car, or 10,000 followers on YouTube, which we hit recently. Yay, thank you so much for that. But they want to have, something like that, like some type of metric or a new item or something like that. Those are not the things that we're doing today in these categories. These categories are going to focus more on the person you want to be. So category 1 is the future me characteristics. So for 2.0 version of me, on this paper, I wrote down characteristics that I want to have. Again, I feel like this is something very personal, so I'm gonna share a few of mine, but I'm also just gonna give you examples of general things. Something specific, but I think it's something that a lot of us want and we can all, strive for, is to be more confident. So that's one thing that I want. I want to be more confident with just being able to make videos like this for you, because it's scary to really open up and share this much of myself with you. So that's one of the things that I wrote. And in order to be confident, I even went further and I broke it down a little bit more. And I said, as part of being confident, I know that means I'm gonna build skills that I have. In order to be confident, I'm going to embrace uncomfortable situations. In order to be more confident, I am going to step out of my comfort zone on a regular basis. So things like that, where I'm getting a little more specific, even though I know I kept them general for you, they're actually a little more specific on mine. But if there's a certain area that you want to be more confident, then break that down on this page as well. So one of the things that I wrote on mine was, I just want to love life. 2.0 version of me loves life. And I said, that means that I get into nature and just soak it up, all of God's creations. And then I can show that I'm loving life by starting new hobbies. So my little arrow, because I made mine like a mind map. So my little arrow is to start new hobbies. And then you might even say, what are those hobbies that you want to create? Love life. I am very much a homebody. I just love being at home. I'm an introvert. I love my home. Y'all know that's like kind of what my whole channel is about. So I love being at home. So part of loving life and part of being more confident and pushing myself out of my comfort zone is, I just said, get out of the house and be around people more. 2.0 Kristi is more social. 2.0 Kristi gets out more. Loves life. So I said that I would take some trips with Whitney and laugh a lot and walk the dogs. And so whatever, would fit into that category. And the beauty of this is I can keep coming back to this and making it more and more clear. What does it mean to love life? For 2.0 version of Kristi, what would that mean? I've been thinking recently, I love doing puzzles. I used to love it, but I haven't done them for a long time. I am gonna get on Amazon and order myself a puzzle and start. That's just a way to love life. When summer comes, you guarantee it, I'm gonna be in that pool, loving life in the swimming pool and being grateful for every minute that I'm able to do that. Another couple of things that I put on here was that I want to be organized. So 2.0 version of Kristi is going to be organized. 2.0 version of Kristi follows the 80-20 principle, where that says that 80% of our results come from 20% of the work. So I'm really going to be focusing on what is that 20% of effort that I'm putting in that's creating 80% of my results, and really honing in and focusing on that. That's what 2.0 future Kristi would be doing. So I have more on here, but like I said, these are personal. So just find what yours would be. What are the characteristics of your 2.0 version of you? And write that down. So that was category number 1. Category number 2. On here, one of the things I said when I was talking about being confident was that I wanted to build skills. And so that actually is my category 2. It's skills. So this could be, for me, a lot of the skills that I put on here are related to getting better with my YouTube channel, like learning more about lighting, learning more about settings on my camera so that I can get better. I want to be a better communicator, so I'm learning about that because we know I have the gift of gab. Some of you don't think it's a gift, so I need to work on that. Economy of the language is not my strong point, so communication is one of the things that I put down here. And then, like I said, I made mine as a mind map, so my little arrow says be succinct. And then I have another one to have better communication. I know there's certain words that I say a lot that I want to stop saying, so like I put less so, actually, etc. So I know that I want to start working on those things. You know, I have one here that I want to get better at editing, and I have what that means. So in order to get better at editing, I know some tutorials that I need to take. I know some things that I need to do. So a lot of my skills, like I said, are around my YouTube channel, but your skills could be around something else. Maybe you are wanting to run a marathon, and so you need to develop skills around running a marathon because your 2.0 version is a runner, and so you're gonna start developing skills for that. Maybe it's baking. Maybe that's one of the hobbies that I've been thinking I like to bake, but I haven't done it in a while. And now that I'm like allergic to wheat, I want to learn how to bake gluten-free and really start practicing with a lot of gluten-free baking. I just enjoy it, and even though I may not even eat all the stuff that I bake, I just think it's something that I would enjoy, that would allow my mind to settle down and focus on something else instead of always just churning about things. So there's baking skills, you know, that maybe that's what you want to do and you have skills with that. Think about the hobbies that you want to do. Think about, you know, goals that you have that might require some skill development so you can achieve that goal faster or be even better at it. Maybe the skill is even around something like becoming organized or, you know, decluttering your house, where maybe the skills are you have certain YouTubers that you want to follow and learn from them about how to better declutter your house, how to shift your mindset so that you can declutter more and faster and get those better results and make sure that you're being result focused. So that could be skills. I have really been enjoying Dr. Benjamin Hardy's YouTube channel lately. I find that it's speaking to me right now, so I've been watching a lot of his videos, and so that's building the skill around my mind and around actually changing my identity and becoming my future self. So, you know, it could be any of those things. So go ahead and write down, you can pause the video, write down some skills. Now, and I'm breaking this into 7 categories. You could literally take one category a day and do this and spend 10 or 15 minutes on it each day for these 7 categories. That's why I wanted this to take a whole week. I did not want to rush this process. I wanted to make sure that I had time to think, to be clear about what I really wanted in this. So my 3rd category is health. And on this, when I'm talking about health right now, I'm specifically talking about physical health. And so some of the things that I put on mine were a simple one that I put that I believe will actually improve my health that you might not even think of is that I want to smile more. I think healthy people probably smile a lot. There's something about, you know, when you change your physiology, it really does shift things in your body, in your mood, in your thinking. And I'm thinking people who smile a lot are probably just happier people, and probably because they're happier people, probably are less stressed. My camera cut off. I'm not sure exactly where I was, but I know I was talking about how I wrote down for health, smiling a lot, because like I said, I just think healthy people probably smile more. So I put that down. I put cooks most of my meals at home, eats out less. Future 2.0 me is cooking healthy at home. eating high protein. I've said specific things about maybe some physical characteristics that I want. I put makes healthy food choices and then got specific about what that would mean, like eating more high protein, maybe fewer carbs, whatever that means to you, because your 2.0 version might be very different than my 2.0 version. One of the things that I put is that I want to be pain-free. I haven't talked about this on my channel much, but I have struggled for a while with some mobility issues. I have some injuries that I'm trying to heal. I have TMJ that I've suffered with for years. I have lots of just issues like that in my body where I have a lot of pain, and it keeps me from doing things that I want to do and living the life that I want to live. So over the last couple of years, that has been a high priority for me, is working on my mobility, working to heal my ankle and calf issues that I've had, working to heal, my shoulder that I injured, my TMJ, other things, just to become pain-free. So I put that in here, part of my health is I want to continue working on my mobility and becoming pain-free and just have free movement in my body. I said specifically that I spend time outside at least 5 times a week. So I'm telling you general things, but you want to end up getting down very specific when it comes to actually writing your goals for these things. So pain-free, you saw when I talked to you in my planner about my goals that I do mobility work every single day, even if it's just 10 minutes. But I know for my ankle, there's certain rehab exercises that I'm doing for my ankle so that I can get better results on that. I'm specifically doing strength side workouts because I have found when I do strength side workouts, I get better results because they're helping me to build strength and flexibility at the same time. And so there's certain things that I'm doing that are helping me. So the more specific you can get, so where I said cooks most meals at home, that would be better if I said cooks at least 5 days a week at home, meaning I could go out to eat on the weekends maybe, or whatever the case is for you. But the more specific you get, the better. The clearer you get. In the book, he talks about it, that the clearer your vision is of who you want to be, the more able your brain is going to be able to create the paths that you need to get to that ultimate goal and to that future self. And the goal here is the clearer you can get on who you are going to be and who your future self is, then what you're doing is instead of working from your current self towards your future self, you start working as your future self now. And it really is subtle, but at the same time, I found that to be a huge shift for me. That on a day-to-day basis, I'm not thinking about what would I do. I'm thinking about what would 2.0 Kristi do? What is 2.0 Kristi gonna cook for dinner today? What is 2.0 Kristi gonna do this afternoon when she's feeling tired? Is she gonna just take a break and get on YouTube for 30 minutes, or is she gonna go for a walk for 30 minutes? So those types of decisions, thinking as my future self, is driving me to do the things to get better results, to become that future me now. All right, so my next category, I'm not sure which one we're on. We're on number 3. No, that was number 3. So number 4 is mental health. So I talked about physical health. So in my mental health, so I have put things on here. So one of the things I've started doing this year is I have started journaling every day. And part of my journaling could be just this type of activity that we're talking about right now. I've started doing morning pages, but I don't necessarily do that every morning. I'm mixing it up, but every day I'm doing some type of journaling. I talked to you when I was talking about my planner. One of my goals is 3 wins. So every night I have another notebook that's in my bedroom that as part of my nighttime routine, I'm writing down 3 wins for the day. So I'm comparing myself to who I was in the morning. Instead of comparing myself to everybody else, instead of comparing myself to where I want to be as my future self, I'm actually saying today, what did I do to move towards my future self? Instead of looking at how far away I am from that future self, it's what did I do today that was awesome? What did I do today that I need to give myself a high five for? Every night I'm just writing down 3 wins, and then I start writing down the things for the next day. So the journaling is working on my mental health. And I have other things here, like one of the things I wrote down is I want to practice having more grace and compassion for other people. And I believe that if I do that and I start putting myself in other people's shoes, when I start to get aggravated with somebody, then that will only help my mental health. So I put things like that. You put whatever you want, whatever your specific needs are for your own mental health. And like I said, a lot of these are personal, so I'm not going to go into everything that I put. So let's move on to category 5. This is a fun one. Category 5 is one of my favorite things, all about home. So I knew that I have big things that I want to do in our home this year. Getting decluttered is definitely one of them. So I wrote down here for home that we use the space in our house for our needs. So there's certain rooms in our house that we're not utilizing the way we could. So one of those is we want to take one of our extra bedrooms and turn it into an office. So that's one of my goals for the year. By the end of the year, I want to do that. And we have another room, our dining room. I want to make a few changes in there so I can start using that as an office. I told you I had some things going on the patio that I want to do to finish off my patio. So I've got that mapped out, like for projects. I want a clutter-free home. So I've put things that I want to do in order to have a clutter-free home by the end of the year. So daily decluttering is one of those things. Doing my 3-a-day decluttering, where every day I take 3 items and put it in the donation box. The fact that I'm making 52 donations this year is part of that. And that was a goal that I set as a total goal. I talked about this already, but I'm gonna say it again in case you didn't see my clutter-free video where I talked about all this. This is not saying I'm gonna make a donation every week, because I might be on vacation one week and I'm not able to make a donation. I don't wanna set myself up for failure. I was sick the first week of January, so I couldn't make a donation. So what I'm doing is I'm saying 52 donations. So some weeks I might have 2 or 3 donation runs, and some weeks I might not have any donation runs. I'm setting myself up for success on that. But those are very specific things that I'm doing, and those are specific things that you could put into your 12-week year. So your first 12-week year, if you start your 12-week year in February, then that'll take you through April, and then you could have maybe, of those 52 that you're doing for the entire year, in 12 weeks, how many of donation runs would you have? So you can break it down into what does a 12-week year look for you. Maybe you want to be more aggressive and do more than what 12 weeks would break down to. I don't know. You figure that out for yourself. But I have things about my home, about projects I want to do in the home, about cleaning, about organizing, decluttering, all of those things. So the next category, so this is category number 6. This one might seem a little odd, but I think personal style is something that I have been thinking about for a few years, but I haven't ever really done anything about. I consider myself to be very casual. I don't know that I'm wanting to change that aspect of me very much, But there are things about my physical appearance that I want to be more conscious of and more aware of. So the next category, so this is category 6, I put as physical appearance. So by the end of 2023, what shifts do I want to make in my physical appearance? What is 2.0 Kristi gonna be? What's she gonna look like by the end of the year? So one of the things that I put on mine is that I'm gonna get a haircut every 6 to 8 weeks. I am so bad, current me is so bad about getting haircuts. So I just got my first haircut of the year the other day, and that's why you can see it's more straight right now, and I got a lot of it chopped off. I'm really bad, like I would get a haircut and then I would wait till it got just so long that I couldn't do anything with it before I would ever go get another haircut. And I've recently found a hairstylist. That was the other thing. I would always go to different people and nobody ever knew me. Nobody ever knew what I wanted. I decided in September to start making the transition to gray. I found somebody, a hairdresser that I really like. So I'm gonna start going to every 6 to 8 weeks. So I also said, something simple that I'm just gonna do my hair and makeup daily. 2.0 version Kristi is gonna get dressed every day, not just hang out in her pajamas with no makeup. I put something about buying outfits. So I'm really bad also about shopping all at once. So I'll shop once a year and buy a bunch of clothes, or twice a year and buy a bunch of clothes. And instead of doing that, I wanna start shopping more mindfully and actually shopping a little more frequently and maybe buying complete outfits so that I know what looks good together, what works on me, that type of thing. So another thing I said, which I've already said in another category, was that I smile a lot. That's part of physical appearance. So I put it down again. Things like I want comfortable, stylish shoes. So all of those types of things that go into my physical appearance. And then, you know, if you have weight loss goals or weight gaining goals or muscle goals or whatever type thing like that, you could definitely write that down in physical appearance and be very specific. The more specific, the better. The last category, so this would be category 7, for who I want to be by the end of the year, is relationships. So for relationships, I actually broke that into categories. So I'm just put relationships, and that means with like everybody. And then I also have specific for Whitney, for our marriage. What do I have goals for with our marriage? How does 2.0 Kristi approach things in our marriage with Whitney to make our marriage as strong and as great as it can possibly be? I feel like we've already got a good marriage, but how can we make it even better? And what do I need to be? Who do I need to be to make that happen? And then for relationships, just, you know, with other people, like I said, I'm a homebody. So a lot of what I have in here is that I want to reach out to people more. I have a lot of my friends don't live here. They live in other places. So it's easy to kind of let those relationships slide when you're not living in the same place and don't really get to see the people as often. So I'm making goals about that, about making sure that I'm reaching out to people, that I'm keeping those relationships going for what's important to me. And then also, you know, things like YouTube, like keeping relationships that I have with other YouTubers and maybe reaching out to more YouTubers and creating more relationships there, because honestly, that has been one of the biggest blessings to me of starting this whole YouTube journey, is the people I've met, and that is through other YouTubers and you. Some of you are very faithful followers of mine, and I feel like I know you because you comment on all of my videos, and I love that. And so one of my goals with relationships is to be more diligent about my comments. And I may not get to my comments, you know, that day, but I'm really working hard this year to be consistent with replying to my comments And, you know, I may falter a little bit, but I know that future Kristi is going to be very consistent with that. And so that's one of the goals that I have for the year and my 2.0 version of me. So that is week 1. So week 1 was all about, you know, figuring out these categories and who exactly is your future self going to be. And once you've done this, you should be able to look through here and get a good idea of what your top 3 priorities are. Now, you don't want to have any more than 3 priorities because then you'd be splitting yourself too thin. You really want to pick 3 top priorities for the year 2023. And when you start talking about your 12-week year, that can be broken down even more. But right now, think of the year as 2023 for this. And what are your priorities within 2023? So for me, my top 3 priorities, number 1 is getting my house decluttered. I feel like that is kind of the thing that has been holding me back a lot in a lot of things. It makes me sometimes not even want to film videos because everything's just a wreck. I can't think clearly. It's weighing me down in a lot of ways. And so that is like my number 1 priority this year, is getting this house completely decluttered. My second priority is my mobility. Like I said, I put that one as number 2 because I feel like my mobility is something that I've been working on for a couple of years. And I want to take that to the next level this year, and I really want to crank it up. But I already feel like I have that established as good habits. I'm on the right track with that for making progress. I have been making progress in that area already. And before, it was a major priority because it was holding me back. I was in so much pain that I didn't feel like decluttering. I couldn't handle big decluttering projects because my body was in so much pain. But now that I'm feeling better and my mobility is better than what it had been, I'm able to kind of shift those 2. But I feel like those 2 are kind of what I'm gonna call my dominoes. Angie, who has the planner, she talks about this as find your domino. What is the one thing that you could do that makes everything else fall into place? And for me, for the last couple of years, that definitely has been mobility. And I'm tying mobility and getting clutter-free together as my dominoes because those are the 2 things that I personally feel that if I get the house decluttered, then I have way less to manage in the house, and that frees me up to do so many other things, to film more videos because I don't need to clean and do all kinds of stuff before filming a video. It just frees me up. So definitely, you know, getting the house decluttered, and then also my mobility. If I'm in pain, I can't do a lot of the things that I want to do. It holds me back from getting the results I want to get in other areas. So those 2 to me are connected as my 2 main things for my dominoes. And my third priority this year is my YouTube channel. I really want to focus on YouTube. I want to be more consistent. I want to grow my channel more than it is. I'm so excited to have hit 10,000 followers in December. That was so exciting for me. And like I said, I'm so grateful to you for that. But I want to grow it even more this year. And so I have some specific goals with that. And I really want to be more consistent because in the last few years, like I said, I've had other priorities. YouTube has not been my priority. And I want it to start being my priority. I want to show up consistently for you. So those are my 3 priorities for the year. And that all came out of figuring out who I want to be so that I can get 100% committed. These are the 3 things that I am fully committed to. I said this in my clutter-free video, that one of the issues from before was I was never fully committed to it. The same with YouTube. I was never fully committed to it. So I am fully committing to these things now. These 3 things are what are gonna be driving me every day to make sure that I get the house decluttered, that I work on becoming free in my body, free of pain, full range of motion in my ankles, in my shoulder, you know, all the places where I have aches and pains. I just want to freely be able to move in my body without pain, and to be consistent and grow my YouTube channel and just show up for you on a regular basis. Those are my priorities, and I am so excited about it. So this was week 1. Next week, we are going to see where we are now. I thought it was important to really think forward first. And now next week, we're gonna take it and we're gonna go back. And we're gonna do an in-depth analysis of where we are now. So we can have a clear path from where we are now to where we want to go. And then once we know that, because we have this future driving us, then we'll be able to make huge strides fast. And I may even share some of my January progress with you next week. And then in week 3, just as a reminder, that's when we're gonna do more further out future planning to really get clear on where we're going. And in week 4, we're gonna put together that vision board for the year. So I hope you will join me on this journey. Make sure that you like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on your notifications so you can follow this journey along with me. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you more than you know. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.